Namaskar. We practice meditation, you and me, yoga. So that yoga and meditation can be classified, or it comes in the scope of Tantra, Tantric culture. Culture comes from cult. Cult is to cultivate, is to grow, is to develop something. So Tantric culture. And Tantric culture is about emancipation, both internal and external. Normally, when we talk about emancipation, about freedom, people think about gaining liberties. I am at liberty to do what I like to do. That is the general idea of freedom. If it is your idea, then when you come to the Tantric culture, when you come to the Tantric path, you are going to have a conflict between expectations and the reality. Because in reality, in the Tantric culture, there are many restrictions. Many restrictions. Those restrictions are imposed on the aspirant who is aiming at achieving something great. One time I was talking to senior teachers of meditations. We were sitting at the table, we were taking dinner, and they started to remember those days. They remembered our guru, our spiritual master, and when he was alive physically, he used to keep them very busy. He was very strict. They had to behave a certain way, and there was no way to break that. There was just no way. You have to behave like this, as expected by the guru from you. And then he kept them very busy. If they don't do some work, they have to do sadhana. You have to do meditation, asana, this and that. So many things actually, so many things to practice. It takes time. And then if they're not busy with that, they have to do some work and for the service, for society. So they were sandwiched between these two things. One side is meditation and self-development, another side is service to society. And it is so tight, there is no scope for what I want to do, what I like to do. There is no scope. And then they became very, romantic. They say, but at that time, even there was no scope to do what we like. But we were so happy. There was so much light. There was so much confidence that we can do anything and everything in the world. There was so much inner effulgence and inner bliss. And then that great personality left us. Physically he died. And now Guru is an idea, is subtle. Actually the Guru never dies. It is the consciousness. But the media of that consciousness, that physical person who could scold, who could love also, not there anymore. So now all of a sudden we are at liberty. We can do what we like to do. And then that teacher, he continued, but now we don't feel as happy as we used to be. Because now we have to rely on that self-discipline that we build up in those times. And that is not as great as in the presence of the Guru. So Guru will impose different restrictions and rules for the person to be able to taste the divine flow. Some portion of ourselves have to be restricted. That dark portion within us, it has to be bound. When I was a child, I was interested in kittens. There was a cat, she cat, and she would give regularly birth to the kittens. So every day you go, there is a box and there is a cat and there are some kittens there. So you look and you play with them. And then you want that they grow faster, they become more interesting. So point comes when they suck the milk, of course. But the point comes when they can drink the milk on their own. So there is a plate arranged with the milk, and you take the kitten and you push the head of the kitten into the milk, and the kitten protests. It's like, oh, what are you doing? But then you let it be, and then he will lick and taste the milk, and it's like, there is some milk. This is also the way to eat. And then it goes by itself to the milk and licks the milk. From there on, it becomes a practice. So, as human beings, we live and we never experience the divine potential, the milk of spirituality. We never drink that. So the guru has to take you by the neck and push in that milk, drink, and then let you be. Because external discipline cannot be always imposed. It cannot be always imposed. You have to be on your own. But you have to discover the benefit of the discipline. When I am disciplined, when I follow certain rules, I feel great. I want to feel great. And for that, I follow the rules. So that is the process. Being disciple, it means to follow the discipline. And what is discipline? Discipline is to abide by the rules, and that is obedience. So the disciple learns how to be obedient, first to the guru, and secondly to his higher self. When he learns that when I act like this, when I abide by the rules of the guru, I am in harmony with my higher self. Then there's no need any more imposition. I just want to follow those rules. Like sometimes in retreats. Retreat is this procedure of taking the kitten and putting in the milk. It is a very regimented, very strict routine. You do 5 times meditation a day, you do twice a day asana, and you listen to the lectures. And somehow there is always some activities, and you don't have to scope to do something what you like to do. You have to forget. For 3 days, you are the follower of the routine. And then during those 3 days, many times people want to run away. They run away. And I catch them by the door. Hey, where are you going? No, Dada, this is not for me, no, I'm leaving. And then somehow, if I am able to employ whatever power of eloquence which I can master to convince the person to stay just for another day, then the person will stay, and most probably he will not go. After 1 day will not go, after 3 days will not go. And then at the end I will ask, why didn't you go? Oh, Dada, you did such a good thing that you stopped me. I wanted to go, but now I really understand. Now I feel so elevated, I feel so great. I just want this routine to continue. So this is a very interesting thing about us. Our mind is indisciplined. It's like the yogis compare the mind with the mad monkey, which was intoxicated by the wine and stung by the scorpion. So that mad monkey, when it hears the word discipline, it's not very happy. It's like, no. But when you discipline that monkey, and it becomes a very nice monkey, you know, like this, meditating monkey, beautiful monkey, with a very nice haircut and very nice face. It doesn't want to come back to that state of drunken monkey. So the mind is waiting to be disciplined. And one should search for the external environment where the discipline can be imposed. You just agree voluntarily, I want to be in that environment for some time. Let it be 1 week, let it be 3 days, or let it be 1 month. Just stay in that environment where there are limits, restrictions. Be there and mold your mind according to the new shape. And when externally the restrictions are lifted, you still stay in that new condition. Many things will come back. You cannot remain as disciplined as you would be with the external imposition, but many things will stay with you. I remember in my childhood, I really used to like to spend time with my father. And why? Because of the restrictions that he imposed on me. Others, I was very willful child. It's like I must have things my way. And not many people could handle me. But my father, he was just like totally, you cannot resist. There are rules, you break those rules, there will be retribution. They never punished me physically, but there were some punishments, like you will not go out for 1 week. you will not receive that, you will receive this. I don't remember exactly, but there was some system of punishment. And then I just didn't break the rules. I didn't break the rules, and I felt good. And when I had the chance to break the rules, I would break them and I would feel bad. I didn't like myself to be like an animal, to misbehave. You know, sometimes child, they cry and they make drama, they try to manipulate the parents. So I also did that. And I didn't feel good in that. So I preferred the imposition of discipline by my father. And I thought that I just loved my father more than my mother. Actually, I loved myself in that condition more than in that condition. So it is a very interesting point. And many times people, they say, oh, Dada, you know, I was thinking I will do meditation, I will liberate myself, but I came to the spiritual path and there are so many restrictions, so many impositions. Why I have to follow all these rules? You don't have to follow all those rules. But if you follow, they will bring your mind into a pinnacle state where you're going to experience the spirituality. That is the thing. Emancipation is the emancipation of self, of your sentient, the subtlemost nature within you. And that emancipation requires the binding, the restriction of your darkness. The darkness is also there. Darkness is also there. It has to be restricted. It has to be brought under control. So, I hope that I make it clear. And then there are two processes at the same time. One process is internal liberation. You are trying to transcend the enemies of the mind. I'm going to record the entire class about that. Greed, anger, attachment, jealousy, pride, lust, those enemies. You are trying to transcend those enemies of the mind. And you discipline that nature. And once it is disciplined, when it is calm, and it's like you bind all the animals and they sit quietly. So you also sit quietly and you enjoy. So that is internal liberation. And external liberation is the struggle for the emancipation in human society. External freedom means the freedom of freedom from exploitation. That nobody exploits anybody, and everyone is in equilibrium and equipoise. And that requires also discipline in society. Once the discipline in society is broken, then ugly things come up in society. So, to secure the peace and freedom and beauty and the flow and creativity and all the goodness, there has to be discipline. And discipline is restriction. Such a paradox. It's an amazing paradox. It's like, for freedom, you need restrictions. Yeah, it's very interesting. For you, I would wish to one time experience, one time or several times. Actually, it should be on a regular basis. I feel I need things like that on a regular basis. When you, once in 3 months, you subject yourself to the very strict, very strict flow. Like you are in a retreat, you are in this, going through the seminar and learning and practicing. And then you go through that, you tighten yourself, then you untighten yourself, but still, for some time, you are just naturally following the discipline because you like it. And then after some time you lose it, again you need some tightening. And as a society of practitioners, we need to help each other to maintain that discipline. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you write some story in the comments what you think about it. Would you like to be disciplined or not? Is it necessary? Or is it already good enough? Namaskar.